So the specs for the nVidia GTX 1080 Ti have been leaked, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with what I see so far. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be extravagant, but they're especially better than what I'm rocking right now, which is a GTX 1080. There's a link by the University Herald which shows a Twitter post, and in that Twitter post we can see a specs comparison between the GTX 1080 Ti, the GTX 1080, the 1070, the 1060, and lastly, the GTX Titan X. The GTX 1080 Ti seems to sit somewhere in between the GTX Titan X and the GTX 1080. The 1080 Ti has 10.8 teraflops, fewer than the Titan X 11 teraflops, but a little more than the 1080's 9 teraflops. The 1070 and 1060 trails a little bit behind with 6.5 and 4.4 teraflops respectively. It also has 3,328 CUDA cores, again sitting in between the Titan X with its 3,584 CUDA cores and the 1080's 2,560 CUDA cores. And again, the 1070 and 1060 falls a little bit behind with 1,920 and 1,280 CUDA cores respectively. The memory is a bit strange, with the 1080 Ti and the Titan X using 12GB of GDDR5 memory, with the exception that the Titan X is using GDDR5X. The 1080 has 8GB of GDDR5X, which to me sounds like the 1080 Ti is supposed to be a happy medium between the Titan X and the 1080. The 1070 and 1060 both have 8GB and 6GB of memory respectively, but both use GDDR5. As for the base and boost clock speeds, the 1080 Ti is clocked at 1503 MHz and 1623 MHz respectively, sitting snug between the Titan X lower base and boost clock speeds of 1417 MHz and 1531 MHz respectively, and the 1080's higher base and boost clock speeds of 1607 MHz and 1733 MHz respectively. The GTX 1070 and 1060 share a same base clock speed of 1506 MHz, and their boost clock speeds reach 1683 MHz and 1708 MHz respectively. The article that the Twitter posts links is in Japanese, but there is a summary of what is being shown here, which reads when translated. At overclock.net of the forum is a pattern that the spec has been leakage GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. To summarize its contents, the GTX 1080 Ti used the GP102 is the same core as the Titan X, Pascal. It is a 4 invalidated cut-down model SMX unit of GP102. The number of CUDA cores by the above mentioned is the 3,328 group, which corresponds to 1.3 times the number of the core of the GTX 1080. In some reason, the installed memory is used in the Titan X and 1080 GDDR5X, without GDDR5 bandwidth for the memory interface. It is not GDDR5X, while 384-bit remains at 384GB a second. The Titan X is 480GB a second. Are some clock up the GPU clock is Titan X? Sorry, that was a little bit tough. Again, this is a rough translation, but I'll leave all of the links in the description below if you're interested yourself. The article also states that the release date has been speculated towards the end of the year, whether it be this year or next year, we're not sure, most likely this year. That seems to be pretty close, and the specs seem kind of tame in my opinion, but you guys can be the judge. However, in the University Herald link, they seem to speculate that the 1080 Ti will release at January 5th of 2017 with a price point of around $799. That stuff is pretty common. I know, as far as I can tell, every time an nVidia card comes out, it seems to hit a price point of around $600 to $800 anyway. And apparently, I was looking through the maximum digital resolution that the 1080 Ti can output, and it seems it can output an 8K resolution of 7680 by 4320 at 60 Hz. That's impressive. But we'll see if these specs are indeed legitimate or not, or if they're just kind of snowballing ideas here. Chances are it will be, but who knows? We'll see.